So on Friday, we right at the end of class, we looked at this graph, not really a graph, sorry, this diagram, and we've been talking about a lot of terms like producer, consumer, autotroph, heterotroph, abiotic, biotic. Hopefully these terms like, okay, yeah, I think I got, at least some sort of, familiarity with this. And we looked at this trophic pyramid. And we also did a food pyramid, right? If you remember, we looked at algae and krill and small fish and then the orca, right? Everybody with me on that? Okay, we call this a trophic pyramid because it shows the relationship between things like primary producers, plants, and the first things that eat that plant, right? Those vegetarians or omnivores that eat that. Okay, then we've got higher levels, but each time we go up, this pyramid shrinks, and that's because we have less energy available. Right? So that's why we only have primary producers on the bottom and the rest are consumers. Remember, ultimately, all of our energy comes from the sun. Okay, so what I want to do is I want you to open up Google Classroom and I want you to click on the link that I just pushed out a few minutes ago. So you'll need your Chromebooks, please, and open up this link that says Exploring Biomass Pyramids. And I'll let Haley in. Hi, hi, Kay. How are you? Hope you're doing good. Hey, if you could go to Google Classroom and open up this link, Exploring Biomass Pyramids, and I'm going to explain what's going to happen. All right. I thought about just setting you loose on this, and some of you will be able to get this right away, but you've got to stick with me because it's pretty intuitive. But there's just means like you should be able to pick up on it by yourself, but like, without a lot of directions, but I want to kind of work on it together. So stay with me as we do this, and then hopefully it'll make a lot more sense. Jeff, oh yeah, anytime, man, absolutely. Okay, I'll just say, side note, if you ever want to borrow my books, my friend Bob always tells me that either I need to read more books that are not involving animals or environmental science, but that's just what I love. So all of these are my personal books that I bought. So all of this is like basically environmental science stuff. Everything from this one's a really interesting one about a guy who studies sharks and kind of his life story, to things like, well, if you've ever seen the movie Hoot, this is the author of that book. So anyways, I got a wide variety of stuff. But all of this over here, these are all field guides. Okay, so if you want to know more about if you want to identify mussels, or if you want, I got freshwater mussels of Illinois, which is also Indiana. And I've got things like bird field guides, all kinds of stuff. You want to know more about warblers? Here's a whole book on warblers. So you are welcome anytime to look at any of those. What's that? A cookbook? Oh, cooking birds? Yeah, there you go. All right. Okay, so now listen up. So what I want you to do is I want you to click Launch Interactive. Okay, so click Launch Interactive, and what's going to pop up is a screen that says enter, I think, for you. But because I have already done this before, it's gonna look at something else. Hopefully. I know, mine too. Give it a second. It always seems like right after lunch takes a while. If in doubt. Okay. All right.
Looks like a game. It's a game. Looks like that. It's a game. Yeah. It starts off with the rectangle. Unity.
It's coming.
You really think he's gonna keep us in good shape?
All right, do not advance this yet. Just go ahead and just wait, and we will read these together. This is a little simulation based on real experiments. So basically, what's happening here is the folks at HMMI, or HHMI, sorry, it's a really Howard Hughes Medical Institute, I think is what it stands for. I actually know a couple of people that work there, and it's a pretty cool place. Anyways, it's a simulation based on real data. So we are going to be looking at the amount of algae in these little pools in Panama. Okay, and you're actually going to be collecting data. Okay, today and also tomorrow, you're looking at algae and catfish. Okay, so I want to make sure we're all getting this point. So go ahead and hit enter. Go ahead and hit enter, and everybody then, once you hit enter, will be on this page. Okay, fantastic. All right, let's read this together. It says, what determines the number of deer in a forest or fish in a pond? Energy or food availability has a lot to do with the number and types of organisms in a given habitat. So then click next. And obviously I like this because there's my favorite bird. How does energy flow in ecosystems? Most life on Earth depends on energy from sunlight. Plants and other photosynthetic organisms convert this energy into chemical energy that they need to grow. Energy is transferred when plants are eaten by organisms who also get eaten in turn. Ecologists call these steps in feeding relationships trophic levels. The lowest trophic level contains producers like grasses that are eaten by primary consumers, grazers, which are in turn eaten by secondary consumers, predators, and so on. Typically, only about 10% of the energy stored in biomass at one trophic level is transferred as energy to the biomass at the next trophic level. Ecologists typically represent these relationships as pyramids, guys, showing biomass or productivity levels. By determining all the players in a particular ecosystem and their interactions, who eats whom, ecologists can make predictions about the amount of biomass and productivity at different trophic levels and under different environmental conditions. In this activity, you will study trophic relationships in the Rio Frijoles, an aquatic ecosystem in Panama. In this system, the primary producers are algae and the primary consumers are grazing catfish. You'll investigate two primary questions. We're actually going to only do the first one. Can you predict the number of catfish that live in this river based on the productivity of algae they feed on? So we'll click Launch Field Study. Okay, and this is what's going to pop up. Okay, welcome to the Rio Frijoles field site in Panama. It's a great day to enter the stream and study its inhabitants. The Rio Frijoles is a stream that consists of small ponds linked by shallow riffles. If you guys could shut your audio out, that'd be awesome. The pools are home to algae grazing catfish and attached algae that grow on rocks. This panel serves as your lab notebook. Here you will receive instructions for the lesson, collect data, perform analyses, and answer questions. Click a link on the icon in the upper right to open and close the notebook. Okay, let's do that now. So click this little arrow up and it will tell you to put your name. Please put your first and last name because you will be turning this into me. So once again, you're clicking that little blank. Okay, I will tell you that it opens up your notebook. So there's mine. You're like, how do I get back to the next one? If you click either the window at the top for me, or if you click on your Chromebook, the button with the square and the two lines, it'll send you back to that. Okay, I got a charger for you. Can you sit behind that yellow and then plug it in? Do you think you can catch up with me? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. All right, so everybody do that. Everybody enter their name, and then you should be back to this window. Anybody else not have, they could not enter their name. Okay, once again, if you could not enter your name, you have to hit this little guy. It's a square with the up, okay, and then you enter your name. All right? you couldn't get back to your window? Or you just couldn't get your name? Okay, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Oh, no, scroll down.
Tony, why are you so quiet, buddy? I like that.
Anybody else? Not get back to this window? Okay, get back to, everybody should be back in this window. Okay? Are you with me here? Okay, got that? Okay, now press this button right there. And then I'm gonna get that. So there you go. All right. Great. All right, fantastic. Okay, now, press this button right there. All right, so here we go. How are we doing, Kay? You doing all right over there? All right, listen up. So it says to begin, explore the various pools of the Rio Frijoles using the map. Note that you can zoom in, use the plus and minus symbols in the lower left corner. After exploring a couple of the ponds, click the commit to pool button and choose your investigation. So click on pools of the Rio Frijoles. Oh, sorry. I had to scroll down. Okay, here's the different pools. Okay, you can explore those. I'm going to commit to bromeliad. You don't have to do bromeliad, but if you want to just follow me, you're like, I don't want to really explore it, that's fine. You can commit to bromeliad. Okay, but I'll give you a second or two to look around. I noticed some of you were already doing that, which is awesome. Okay, but then go ahead and commit to one of the pools. Whatever pool you commit to, then this window will pop up. Anybody having trouble? Anybody having trouble committing to the pool? Everybody commit to one pool? Great. Got it, buddy? Got it? All right. Now, here's where we're at. It says catfish in the Rio Frijoles primarily eat algae. In this ecosystem, the algae are producers and the catfish the primary consumers. Ecologists typically model patterns among trophic levels by drawing pyramids. The general name for these pyramids are ecological or trophic pyramids. One more specific type of pyramid is called the pyramid of biomass. This pyramid shows all the biomass at different trophic levels at one point in time. Because the ecosystem has only two trophic levels, algae and catfish, it can be represented with a two-tiered pyramid. What ideas do you have about the structure of the biomass in this pool based on what you have already known? Okay, so you are going to pick one of the pyramids that you think it is, right? Okay, so is it going to look more like A, where there's more algae and less catfish? Is it going to be equal catfish and algae, or is there going to be a lot more catfish and less algae? Hello. Really? Who? Oh no, I haven't seen her. Yeah. Has anybody seen Janessa today? They're all looking at me and funny. Like, no. Okay, yep. Bye-bye. Okay, what's that? She was in world history? Okay. Huh. Okay, so, okay, now, do you think it's going to be A, B, or C? Which do you think it's going to be?
C.
Okay, I'm going to pick A, okay? You don't have to pick A, but there is a reason I picked A. Why would I pick A? Not because I know the answer. Yeah, reading all the books. No, yeah. You don't see a lot of catfish, but you see a lot of algae. Absolutely. I would also say that it fits the standard, right? typically, there's a lot more plants than there are animals, right? Okay, so primary producers are typically on the bottom. So I'm gonna click A. Okay, I'm gonna hit continue, and then it's gonna ask you for a justification. And I'm gonna put because it's the example on the board. Okay, I'm just gonna put that. You can either put that as well. Okay, so once again, I chose A because every textbook will show you primary producers are big on the bottom, primary consumers are less, secondary consumers are less, and tertiary. If you remember the triangle that we saw in the intro, grasses were on the bottom, okay, and then was it rabbits? I think we're next, right? Rabbits, and then I forgot what ate the rabbit. What's that? Wolf, yeah, right. Okay, so then you hit continue. All right, now this is going to be, it's not really that hard, but please pay attention. One question that may interest us is how many fish can be supported in a pool. Based on the pyramid model, we may be able to determine the total biomass. Okay, so biomass is if I wanted to find the biomass of my class, I would weigh each one of you, okay, and then combine all those numbers, including me. Our biomass of humans in this room, weigh each one of you, the total, that's the number. That's biomass.
We should
Right?
do that.
We could do that today, it'd be fun. All right, there we go. Okay, so the total, we may be able to determine the total biomass of the catfish population that can live in this pool by measuring the total biomass of algae. The first step is to determine how much algae is available for fish to eat. You will measure the amount of algal biomass in the section of the pool you have selected. Dr. Power, that's the real researcher, placed clean tiles on little platforms that grazers couldn't reach and then measured how much algae grew over a specific number of days. In this virtual world, the grid located in your pool represents the tiles used by Dr. Power with 4 days of algal growth. Use the scraper tool to collect algae within the white gridded area located at the bottom of your pool. The amount of algae biomass will automatically be measured for you as you scrape. You will be able to advance once at least 75% of the grid's total area has been scraped. Okay, now watch. I can use this right here, these 3 little lines to hide that. Then I'm going to click on the scraper tool, okay, and I'm going to begin scraping. And you can actually increase this in size, and you can see, now you can see the fish, and you can start scraping. Now, I have to hold down one button, okay, on my keypad, and then I use my finger to swipe across. So one button down, and then swipe across to scrape. If you are not able to do that, then you'll have to quit out and go resume. I can help you with this, okay? But if you're having trouble, you should continue to scrape. And notice over on the left, my numbers are increasing. So one button down, okay, one finger down, then the other hand scraping, okay? Okay, so yours is weird. Okay, click out of that. Now go back over here. Now go launch and then hit resume, and it'll take you right back to it. You're not doing it yet? Okay, hit the X. Okay, now go back to this right there, and then hit launch, and then hit resume. Anybody else not able to scrape? Scrape it? Okay. All right, let's try yours. Can't scrape. Okay.
I'm doing it.
Okay, no. Okay, so click X. Okay, now go back to here. Now hit launch and then hit resume. So click X, and then go back to here, and then launch, and then hit resume. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's do it. So let's go X, click X. Yep. Now click over here. Now click go launch, and then hit resume. Okay, how are we doing in that? You caught up, Stephen? Okay, Tony, you're doing all right? Okay, now listen, this is the crazy part. Okay, so you can keep going Okay, and notice on the left, you know, like, I don't know, I like to scrape. So I'm scraping, I'm scraping, I'm scraping, I'm scraping, I'm scraping. Okay, and notice then on the left, there is some numbers there. And those numbers are going to be important. If you're, you know, if you're really into this, you can keep going till it stops. I think I'm pretty good at that point. I don't know if I can get too much more algae off of that. Okay, ooh, I got a little bit more off. Ooh, that's satisfying. Okay, all right. So once you've got it scraped, okay, then you can go back up here to the top, click those three buttons so this window opens, and then you click algae collection completed. Okay, algae collection completed. Okay, Kay, how you doing? You doing okay? You following me all right? All right, wrap up the scraping because this next part is the hard part. And I really want you to, I'm going to give you a second to finish scraping a couple people that were behind. Okay? The next part is it's got the math, but the math is not bad. I'm going to help you with it. We're going to do it together. Some of you are like, I like math. I can do this myself. That's fine. That's okay. I'll help you with this. This is actually good. This is good. Okay? All right. So once you're done scraping, go back to those three lines, click where it says algae completed, and then you will get this window. Once you're at this window, click the calculator and move it over a little bit, and then click the hint. Okay, click the hint. Okay, so you got the calculator, and then you've got the hint. Okay, I'm gonna read both these things while a couple of you are finishing up. It says, use mathematical and computational thinking to extrapolate your measurements obtained from the grid area to the entire pool to determine the total algae biomass in this pool. Assume the area covered by algae is equivalent to 30% of the pool's surface area. Okay, so it's got all this for you. There's your biomass, there's your area scraped, there's the pool surface area. Okay, your numbers may be different than my numbers. And that's fine. Just follow me and I'll show you what to do. Okay. All right. So when we want to get that total biomass, okay, all we have to do is take the pool surface area times 0.3 times the biomass divided by the area scraped. Okay. So let's do this. Everybody look at my screen real quick before you do this. We're going to do this first part, pool surface area times 0.3. Do you notice this number right next to pool surface area? I click on that and it automatically goes into the calculator. I tap this button, okay, and boom, it goes in. Okay, I'm going to multiply that number times 0.3 and it automatically adds the 0. Okay, and that gives me this number 19.2. Okay, your number may be different, okay, especially if you chose a different pool. Remember that number, either write it down. Okay, or we'll come back to it in a second. Okay, 19.2 for me. Okay, I'm gonna hit clear. Okay, one more time. I'll show you one more time. Click your pool surface area. It's the bottom one. It automatically goes in. Everybody multiplies whatever your number is. Anybody get a different number than 64? Okay, what'd you get? 35. Great. So multiply that times 0.3. And there's my number, 19.2. Okay, great. 10.5. Just remember that number. Okay, now I'm going to clear that. Now I want this second part. It's biomass collected divided by the area scraped. Okay, so biomass collected, I'm going to push that button. That's my first thing. And I'm going to divide it by the area scraped, which was this second one. Okay, and I'm going to hit equal. That's 0.21. Okay, so that's this part right here. Okay, so I got my 19.2 and I'm going to multiply it by 0.21. So here's what I'm going to do. Multiply, okay, 19.2, and then here's my answer. I'm going to click this use button and I'm good to go. Okay. Okay, so if you, so Tony, sorry, Trace, you're gonna use your 10.5, right? Your numbers are just gonna be a little bit different. How many
Yeah.
people don't have a number here yet? Okay, need some help. Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so you got, okay, are your numbers the same as mine? Did you get the 19.2? Okay, so now take this number, click on that one.
Oh,
and
that's shut off.
then hit divide by, and then the second number right there. And then equal, and then multiply. 19.2. Okay? Once you're there, folks, once you're there, great job. You guys are doing awesome. Go ahead and click continue. Okay, so if you got the 4.023, there you go. Now remember, okay, here's where we have our issue. Okay, when we looked, this was easy when we did like 10,000 joules, 1,000. This is that rule of 10%. If I take 10,000 times 0.1, I'm going to get 1,000. If I take 1,000 times 0.10, right, I'm going to get 100. You see the pattern there. Okay, we want to look at the 10% rule here. So click the calculator, open that up. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my hint there. You don't need that one. So it says now you now have an estimate of the algae biomass in the pool. Remember that your goal is to determine how many catfish can live in this pool. Ecologists estimated that about 10% of the energy stored as biomass in one trophic level is used to produce biomass in the trophic level above. This is sometimes referred to as the 10% rule of energy transfer. This rule allows you to make predictions about the number of organisms that can exist at different trophic levels in an ecosystem. Using the 10% rule, calculate the amount of catfish biomass that can be supported. So I'm going to take this number. Once again, I'm just going to click on 4.032, okay? And I'm going to multiply it by 0.10, okay? So that's my 10%. I'm going to hit equal, and my number is 0.403. I click use, and that number goes right there. So I click the number, boom, it goes to the calculator. I multiply it times 0.10, and then I click use. Okay, what's that, man? Yeah. You could, and I'm glad you said that, Jack. You can move the decimal over. I just want to stick with this. Okay, everybody good? Okay, now hit continue. Okay, and here's what we got. Okay, so here we go. It says, now that you've calculated the total catfish biomass in this pond, based on the 10% rule, you can calculate the number of catfish. Okay, assume the average adult catfish weighs 10 grams. Oh. What number will I put there? Those of you who are with me at 0.403, what number am I going to put? How many catfish are supposed to be there? Why do you say 4? Okay, here, stick with me here. Watch, everybody look at this. Hey, I calculate predicted total biomass of catfish in my area is 0.403. Guys, Trace,
What?
stick with me here, okay? If I have 0.403 grams estimated and one catfish weighs 10 grams, how many catfish should I technically have? Yeah, not even a whole catfish, right? Is 0.403 grams enough to match with 10 grams? No. So technically, I'm going to put that I'm predicting at this point there are 0 catfish there because there's not enough biomass available, right? There's not enough algae. to feed the catfish. Are you all with me on this? Jack. Oh, okay. Now everybody hit. Everybody hit. Oh yeah. Wait, what was your number? What was your number?
0.29.
Okay, 0.291.
I got 2.205.
Okay. So most of us in here are going to put 0. I'm going to click continue. Okay. So here's where it gets weird. It says, is the number of catfish you calculated consistent with what you observed in the pool? Count the number of catfish and record the number below. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this window. Okay. And I'm going to count the catfish. So how am I going to do this? Okay. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and this is my catfish counter, right? So you just hit them out right there like that. It'll tell you how many you got. Okay. I am counting. I was supposed to have 0 catfish. It won't let you go on. Do you see what I'm doing? You got to turn them yellow. You got to turn these catfish yellow. Okay. And then once you get it, okay, there you go. I don't think I have any other catfish. Okay. Are you with me, man? I'm worried about you. Okay. Are you making them yellow? Okay, we didn't hit 0. You didn't hit 0.
Okay, so I have a million of them.
0. Enter value.
I have
Hit 0.
136
Okay, now hit
fish.
machine. You have 136?
It says count.
That's insane.
I have 14. It says
Okay.
count. The count area.
All right. I only got 16. That's crazy. All right. So once you're done with that, I don't think I have any more. I'm going to click around. Okay. Then you click this button. Okay. I hit catfish counting completed. Okay. Ooh, I didn't get them all. I missed a couple then. Zoom out. Oh. Oh.
Oh, I missed one.
18. Should I get 19 in?
I have 146.
Whoa. Man, where is that stinking? I don't see my other one. Oh, got him. 19. There we go. I got 19. And then click completed. Okay. All right. Are we all good at that? Everybody got that? Okay, cool. So what we're going to do then is next it says, is the number of catfish you calculated consistent with what you observed in the pool? Okay, count the number of catfish and record the number below. Okay, so I said 0, but in fact I got 19. Chelsea got 100 what? 46. Okay. Okay. So what I want you to do is this. We're going to stop at this point. Okay. And tomorrow we're going to open this back up. Okay. And it will hopefully, fingers crossed, have saved everything. Okay. And we will just hit resume. Okay. So you can click out of that. Okay. And you should be good to go at this point. Okay. So what we're going to do, what's going to happen tomorrow is you're going to see when in fact your pyramid may not look the same as what you think it's going to be. Maybe in fact it's not like our typical one right here. Okay. Any questions about these things? Okay, good.
How many more minutes do you have?
We have like, let's see, we're out at 41. So we have like 3 minutes. I wanted to stop there because that was a good stopping spot. Thank you.
Literally, there was like 26
Hey,
fish inside the pond.
that's crazy. That's crazy. By the way, look, here's your stuff for tonight. Today is the 14th, night of the 14th. We are at that medium to almost high. That's pretty exciting. All right, Kay, any questions? Were you good? Oh. Okay, cool. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.